Anita Sarkeesian sent her 750,000 person audience after Laura Kate Dale for writing about harassment. Let's chat about it in the comments below, but first, my opinion. I'm Tarmack, and this is Feature Creep Abridged. You know, since the initial Gamergate explosion, I've had the same recurring thought, which has absolutely baffled me. Have people forgotten how to argue properly? Or did people really, as a general populace, never known how to argue properly at all? Somehow, the initial revelation that a game developer was harassed as a result of an unethical relationship with a journalist became a for or against issue. You'll note that harassment is one issue, and ethical journalism an entirely separate issue. If the internet is to be believed, and you'd be foolish to try, this is a binary argument, for or against Gamergate. A nonsense position conflating two issues related entirely by coincidence. So we fast forward to this week. Laura Kate Dale, a newly minted Kotaku UK journalist, has been writing on harassment for the past few days. It's a touchy subject, one that Laura, a trans woman, is no stranger to. She spoke with a number of folks who stream and thus get fed harassment on a daily basis to get their thoughts. Then she spoke to gaming's most loved-to-hate pundit Total Biscuit about the harassment that people get at a size of audience that most human beings cannot comprehend, and she put up an article about it. The absolute last thing that one would expect is for a self-professed feminist to direct ire at a trans woman for writing about harassment online. But it appears that Anita Sarkeesian forgot, or chose to ignore, that when you have a big audience, you have to be careful with it because the crazies are intermingled with the normals. She tweeted out that it was, quote, outrageous and irresponsible of Kotaku UK to post this puff piece on a Gamergater on the hate movement's anniversary, end quote. Which is odd, because I have yet to see anyone celebrating or even talking about Gamergate having an anniversary. It makes me almost embarrassed to share a species with some folks. Anita directed 730,000 followers at Laura because of a desire to blast Total Biscuit, who was the subject of the article. Her quality audience engaged in significant harassment of Laura, including full doxing. Anita tried to make things right with a second tweet, quote, "You can strongly disagree with and condemn something that someone says or does on the internet, but doxing a marginalized person is never okay," end quote. So doxing others is fine then? So long as you disagree with them and they're not marginalized. That's the criteria we're going with, apparently. In two mere tweets, not delving into anything else that I may agree or disagree with her on, Anita's shown herself to be little more than a petulant child with a megaphone. It's patently against her own personal agenda to direct harassment against Laura. Preventing harassment against women is quite literally her platform. And yet, she displays no care and attention to the size and capability of the audience she has, and frankly, it's more than a little disgusting. This is a person who has been the subject of a lot of massive audience brigading, so it's a little tough to argue that she didn't know her audience would do such awful things. Only a fool would send such a message and expect her 737,000 fan base to be nice to the innocent author about it. A fool, or somebody who knew it would happen. So, I see that Laura has apologetically walked away from Twitter because of the swarm of vitriol. Good job, guys. And given that I love her work, I'll be disappointed but understanding if she changes the topic she chooses in future because of this. It's much better to have articles that a journalist has some passion for than the same old boring tripe. One of the few really good game journalists we have who puts amazing time and effort into bringing genuine information to gamers, taken down by a professional offendee, all because of an interview with a controversial person. An offendee that had to remind everyone, because nobody remembers this shit, that it was the anniversary of Gamergate, an event that was instrumental in the cementing of her fame and career. All of this, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when the cause takes a back seat to the job the cause bought you. Not exactly how I wanted my first video back after a hiatus, but this elementary playground quality one-upmanship posturing frosts me. Working on another video of Shadow of War and gambling. That'll be out Friday if it kills me. I deeply regret not having had any uploads for about 2 months, and it's time to rectify that. My name is Tarmack. That's all I have to say.